Hi everyone, welcome to another video. So this is kind of late because I waffled on it for a really long time, but then Ulta was like, have a coupon and 10x points. So I was like, okay. And it is the ABH Primrose palette, which right here, when I first saw the photos, I was like, wow, that looks terrible. I don't know what this is, but it's so boring and so uninteresting, and the photos didn't catch my attention at all. But then when I went in store and I actually swatched it, I was like, this is like 10 times better in store, in real life, looking at it with my own eyes than online. And so that's why ultimately I wanted to get it. I got started on a new antidepressant like 3 weeks ago, and the reason I hadn't been on one for several years was because the last one I tried had terrible side effects. I think this one's giving me side effects too, because I kid you not, I have not been this tired my entire life, and I almost passed out this morning, so I just have not been able to film at my normal level of energy. So we're just gonna play. My selfridges order came in, so the shades of the foundations I wanted that I love the formulas of but could not wear because of mismatched shades, I can't actually find like anywhere. Like Designer Lift, for instance, anything be lighter than shade 2 is seemingly not available here, but I did find the shades on selfridges, so I did go ahead and buy my favorite 2 foundations. I just realized something. I was gonna use my Pat McGrath primer, and this is a new bottle, and I threw out the old bottle because it was empty. I think I threw out the new bottle and kept the old bottle on accident. I can barely get anything out of this unless this is the new bottle, but it's just not pumping right. I'm gonna have to keep using that and figure out if that's the new bottle or the old bottle, because oh my god, I could have sworn the old bottle was empty. Why? I can replace it. There's a 30% off sale going on right now. I can replace it. The last time I bought it, it was like $25. It was on like super sale, so I didn't lose that much money. I know Morgan Turner recently did a video about Pat McGrath because of the sale, where she was like, I don't like this primer, it sucks. And I'm just like, you know, everyone except me hates this primer, but for me this is like the best primer I've ever used. Why am I like this? That's not a great start to this video, and it feels like a really bad omen now, but we will carry on. I'll use the under eye primer from JACLYN. I need to declutter and sell some more stuff. I really want to try that Bobbi Brown stuff. I'm wondering if I should just go and use the Bobbi Brown eye base. That would be better than this. I also really am interested in that Milk Makeup Hydro Grip primer. I'm so mad that this is so expensive, but the tube is like, you know, that big. Okay, mistakes were made. Oh my god, okay. Relax. I'm gonna try the Estee Lauder Futurist Aqua Brilliance foundation in 1N0. I have used this before in multiple videos using 1W0, and it just doesn't match me. It used to when I was a lot more tan, but definitely not anymore, so I ended up decluttering it. The formula is really good, which is why I was so sad. I mean, it's like slightly watery, but it's just really good. And it was mostly promoted in, I have a kitten behind the shelf playing. It was mostly promoted in Asia, and it definitely fits with the Asian trends, but honestly, I think this is so good. I really love that I have this. Oh, this is fine. It's a little bit light, but it's not pink. Oh, this is fine. This will be good. I like this. Okay, good. I didn't screw up the shade match, you guys. Woohoo. Not been having the best luck with foundation matches recently. I don't ever expect to get a perfect match because of my weird undertones, so I would rather go a shade up and get the right undertone, or close to the right undertone, than go a shade down to get the right undertone. And you can see it just like blends out really easily. I also got a lash lift, and now I have like amazing lashes, and I love it. We're off to a much better start now. All right, I'm gonna conceal. Nothing's changed. I do want to try the Shiseido Gel Stick Concealer. I just hadn't gotten around to it yet. I know Macy's is having a 15% off beauty right now, but I'll wait to see if Shiseido does something better on their website. In the meantime, I've not hit pan on it yet, and it's not dried out on me yet. These other 2 shades for some reason are like super dry, but this one remains really creamy. I don't know why. So I like don't use the other 2 shades, I just use the light one. I do want to go back into my Patrick Ta blush palette just because I've only used 1 color so far, which is like a shame. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna use this shade because I kind of want to put this on the outer part of my cheek, and then I'll use the Primrose palette and I'm gonna use this shade on the inner part of my cheeks. And I am gonna try it with a brush today. I just want to see what happens if I try it with a brush. So I'm just taking the Refer 31 and I'm just putting on a very small amount to start with just because this is a pretty intense color. And I'm just putting this on the outside of my cheeks. And it's not taking off my foundation so far. Looks pretty good. I'm always nervous about cream products taking my foundation off. And then I'm just gonna build it up. Yeah, that looks really good. This is not a super dewy, creamy, hydrating, glowy, sticky formula. Ooh, I like how this builds. You can see this builds so nicely. It almost pulls like a bronzer on me. It has the same effect as a contour where it's kind of pushing back the side of my face and adding that dimension. And I don't have to really work hardly at all to get this to buff in. This is definitely a formula I can use with a brush. And this rougher brush is doing a really great job. Ironically, it's scratchier if you press it, but if you just buff very lightly in circles like this, it feels really soft, so that's good. And so I've just put the blush on the outer parts of my cheeks here, and you can see it just looks so pretty and soft. So I'm gonna leave that there. Now it's getting to be that season where I don't powder my face very much. Basically, I just take a really loose brush, Rougher 30. I just, you know, I have these and honestly, I do really like them, so I've just been using them. And I'm just gonna I'm just gonna brush it all over my face very lightly. The price of this brush is pretty high, but it's a face brush, so I feel like pretty much all face brushes are really expensive unless they're like super small, so that doesn't really surprise me. But make of that what you will. For the same price, you could get something from a different brand. You know, if you prefer other brands, go for other brands. That being said, I like this shape a lot. I think the shape is really nice. And you can see that with the powder on, the blush is a little bit more subtle, but it's fine. And you can see that the powder doesn't really take away the glow on my face, which is really nice. So I really like this powder personally. Okay, so I'm gonna put on some eye primer and then I'm going to work on the eyebrows. I'm gonna use the NARS Smudgeproof eyeshadow base. This is not super tacky. ABH shadows tend to be pretty loose, so I guess it's counterintuitive to use a less tacky base, but I find the strong suit of ABH shadows is they do blend really well, and I don't want a tacky eyeshadow base to like negate their blending ability. Yeah, and it's laying well on my eyelids today, so I don't know why the first few times I hated it and now I love it so much. I'm gonna use the Brow Blade and Cool Cookie. I did finally end up panning my brow definer, which I'm like strongly considering buying it again because I loved how quickly I could fill in my eyebrows with it, which I know I used to hate it because the tip was so big, but I feel like I've gotten better at filling in my eyebrows, so now I want to buy it again just because the tip is bigger, but I'll probably just wait till it goes half off. I don't really like buying brow pencils at full price. I've never actually had to, so I'm just like, maybe it'll go half off someday. I messed up the top a little bit, but with my bangs being down, you're not gonna see it. I like get super lazy with my eyebrows when I know my bangs will cover it, so. Oh, and I just panned Cool Cookie too. Congrats to me, I guess. All right, I'm gonna use the pen side and just quickly fill in the front. Not the best brow job, but owing to the fact that my bangs are down and I can't really clip them out of the way right now, it'll do. Yeah, I'll have to it'll be like a month or two before I can really fully move them out of the way when I want to. Let's move on to Primrose. This is what it looks like. It is so pretty. I cannot wait. So I'm gonna go in with Mango, which is a peachy colored shade. It looks a lot darker on the brush than it did in the pan, but we're just gonna use this. Lots of kickback in the pan, definitely pretty normal for ABH. Yeah, when I first saw this palette, I really thought, like online, I just thought it was so bad, but then like you walk into store and you look at it in the display and you're like, how did they manage to make it look so bad in the promotional photos when it looks beautiful in real life? And it's been a really long time since I've had any interest in ABH as a brand, but by the way, I think I'm gonna pass on Moonspell Volume 2 for now. I initially was planning on buying it and doing a 3 looks 1 palette, but the more I looked at it and the more I looked at the swatches, I was like, just don't feel it. That'll give me more time and money to focus on other things anyways. I'm just lightly running this across the eyelid as a base shade, so it doesn't need to be too terribly intense. Really pretty though, actually. That's actually a really pretty shade, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna go into Rouge, which is right here. These shadows are all developing deeper on the eye than in the pan, just as a warning to those of you interested in getting this. I don't think that's a bad thing. I actually am really peeved when it's the other way around. These are so pretty. I know this was really safe for ABH, but these are colors that I feel like are just eloquent and just very classy feeling shadows. They feel really sophisticated even though they're so simple. Sorry, the lighting is acting funny. I'm still trying to get the exposure to be good. Like, it just feels like I put like no effort into this, and yet the shadows look so nice. I did make this bottom part a little bit dark, so I'm just gonna take another brush and remove some of that product. That just looks so nice. I kind of want to use Primrose, which is this really pretty soft purple, and I do really want to use this. I feel like this will make for a really pretty point color of the look. It does have some tiny flecks of micro glitter in it. I don't really find them to be helpful in terms of finish, but I feel like they probably were put in just to make the eyeshadows blend better because it's a, you know, it's a purple. And I'm just applying this very softly. Yeah, this color takes a little bit more work to blend than Rouge did, which doesn't really surprise me. Yeah, it just adds a little hint of purple, which I think looks really nice. I'm gonna go back in with Rouge and deepen up the outer corner. Lastly, I'm going to take the shade Deep Berry and I'm going to use that to draw some eyeliner. I think it'll just add a nice touch. Just like very subtle, it's not super dramatic or anything. You can see it's just very barely defined. So far this shade doesn't seem to build up as deeply as it looks in the pan, so it kind of has the opposite problem. But given that I'm only using it as eyeliner, obviously I can't confirm that, so I will see how it does using it like, you know, as actual eyeshadow, and I'll see, because you know I'm using such a tiny brush and it's on such a small area of my eye, I couldn't actually confirm if it's like true to pan or not. However, it's a beautiful eyeliner color and I love how it just kind of is naturally extending the shape of my eye. It definitely looks really, really nice. I'm gonna take just the tiniest bit of it and stamp it close to my lower lash line for that extra definition. It's almost like I'm just trying to make my lashes appear thicker or something. There we go. It's very subtle, but it makes a really big difference. And then lastly, I do want to play around with one of the shimmers. So I think, well, I don't want to cover up the purple. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to rose water and put this on the inner corner. I know, very original. I did hear and see in a lot of demos, particularly from like Babs Beauty, that there is some fallout with these. So I'll just be a little bit more careful, I guess. It's really pretty though. Like ABH definitely delivers in the shimmer department, which is one of the reasons why the like big Norvina palettes were kind of disappointing for me, was because the shimmers were like, you couldn't even see them show up. This, however, is a really nice return to form. Yeah, I want to keep the Primrose shade showing, so I'm just gonna put this on the inner corner. This is so pretty. And then I am gonna actually go ahead and I'm gonna take Sparkling Amber and I'm gonna put this on the lower lash line. I don't want it to be super bright compared to the inner corner. Ooh yeah, this shade, Sparkling Amber, is very, very lightly pressed in the pan. And oh my gosh, it is so pretty. Again, this does look a little bit darker than in the pan. I love how this is looking. I'm gonna take a little bit of rose water and just put it on the very inner corner of my lower lash line just to add some brightness. And that's it for now. I'm gonna go ahead and curl my lashes. So because I have a lash lift, I don't really need to maintain and fuss with my lashes as much as I usually do, which is really nice. I definitely really enjoy having a lash lift. I just kind of have to curl it very lightly, just enough that it just gives it a boost. My left eyelashes, for some reason, never lift as well as my right eyelashes, so they always come out looking different. I really have yet to find a salon that can lift both lashes equally symmetrically. Like, it's just not something I'm gonna like demand a refund for. I just feel like it's just something about my eye shape or my lashes or whatever. It's just really stubborn. And then to top it off, I don't need to use a waterproof mascara anymore, so I'm just gonna be using my Lancome mascara on tops and bottoms, and we're just gonna call it a day. I'm just not feeling falsies. Once I get a lash lift, my percentage of looks with falsies are gonna drop dramatically because I just can rock my natural lashes. And then I just feel so much more confident. And like with my lashes being lifted, it also means that a mascara that claims to like lift my lashes even more actually does that, which is like super wild. I am gonna throw a couple of other mascaras into my cart during the VIB sale. make the most of this. And as you can see, my lashes are so long and beautiful when I have a lash lift and I use mascara. And they are so much less maintenance. They hold a curl all on their own. Are like my best lashes ever. So I'm gonna go over it with the powder blush now, and I'm gonna use the powder blush to amp it up a little bit, set my face a little bit. The AC is not on and I am a little bit sweaty, honestly. And I'm just gonna go over the cream I put down earlier just to make sure I have the intensity that I want. I am tapping off the excess. I don't want to put on too much. And this is gonna replace my bronzer. This is definitely a really pretty outer blush shade for me, like something I would use on the perimeter of my face. I don't think I could actually put this on the center of my face. It would be a little too dark for that. All right, and now I'm gonna go into Grapefruit, which is in the Primrose palette. And I'm gonna use this on the inner part of my cheeks. Now I do think this is gonna be pretty pigmented, but it is so light that I don't need to tap off the excess. It does add like a brightening effect, so it definitely adds an effect you can see, but you can't actually see the actual color, so I'm not sure how many people can use this blush. I mean, yeah, you can use it as an eyeshadow, but pan is so large. Alright, so that is the blush on. I think it looks really, really nice. I'm gonna go back in now with She's Baked. Now that I have the middle established, I'm gonna go back and add just a tiny bit more contrast on the outer part. You just want to make sure everything relative to each other looks good. I got this highlighter in Star Power during the Morphe 50% off sale. The lightest shade is sold out and I don't know if it'll ever come back, which is a real bummer because this shade is much too dark for me to use as a highlighter on its own. But I think it'll go with this look really well, and I have some blush on. So I'm just gonna put on a very little bit and then I'm gonna just tap it out. This feels like a really big Super Shock highlighter from ColourPop, which is why I didn't want to pay for it full price, because based on what I saw in like people's first impressions of it, it looks exactly like a ColourPop Super Shock highlighter, so I didn't want to pay so much for it. That's why I didn't buy it. But then Morphe was like, oh, we're half off on literally everything, so I was like, but then the lightest shade was sold out because of course it was. But I really like this. I do want to try this on my eyes, and if I like it, the sale is still going on, so maybe. I really shouldn't though, because I keep complaining about wanting stuff like Chantecaille and it's too expensive, and then I go and get stuff off Morphe. I mean, like, who am I? I'm stupid. Alright, and then I'm gonna go in with the light shade here. This is her Winter Sun Face palette, and I will have a much more in-depth review on this soon. I just need time to finish using everything. I didn't get any of the lip products though. They didn't interest me. Alright, I'm gonna try the lip liner in Cupcake today from JACLYN Cosmetics. I used Blondie a few times, really like it. I'm gonna try Cupcake just because I bought it. It was half off too, so. But you know, without the swatches, it's really hard to figure out what you want. Okay, this definitely reminds me of a pinker version of Fawn, but it's really, it's a little bit darker than what I think there's a lighter shade called Chai Tea that's on Ulta. It's even lighter than Blondie. Like, I'm looking for a shade so light that I could overline like crazy and get away with it, kind of a thing. But this isn't bad. This is really not bad. It basically is the shade of my lips, so this isn't bad at all. And this feels a lot creamier and more pigmented than Blondie. But it's still not as creamy as ColourPop, which I actually think ColourPop can sometimes be too creamy. I think this is a solid formula. I wouldn't pay $18 for it though, which is why I got a half off instead. Like for $9, and I might go back and pick up more shades of these, because like $9, I can't complain. Alright, lips are lined as usual. I overline my lips like crazy. If anyone's been on my channel for literally any length of time, you'll know I need more lip colors. I did such a massive lip declutter because I hardly wear lipsticks anymore, and so I kept most of my Korean formulas, but I like yeeted everything else out the door, and now I have like my color range suddenly is like that large because I appear to have a very consistent color preference. I'm gonna use MAC's Powder Kiss Liquid Lip Color in the shade A Little Tamed. I think this should work. It's a little bit pink, but I just won't apply full layer. I literally just tapped a little bit on, and then I'm just gonna apply like almost, it's like borderline translucent, and now it just is a very light wash of color. So this is the finished look. I love how dainty and simple this looks. I know I've been doing a lot of these recently, but that's just what I've been up to. Well, this is what my energy has been up to. I will continue to work on filming everything that's in my film queue. It'll get done, but I'm just taking it one day at a time right now, seeing how I feel. That's it really. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye!